Like for tomorrow, for instance, we're going to have some low LCLs in eastern Massachusetts and Connecticut, very far southwest, southeast Connecticut, and especially the Cape and the Islands and southeast coast. However, it all depends on where that warm front sets up. If the warm front sets up right over the Boston area, then I think the low condensation levels will get up into the Cape Ann area, and we'll have to watch out for a brief spin-up or two, which can be a rain-wrapped tornado that can come down with no warning at any time, and downpours and convection. So I'm keeping an eye on that. I'll be looking at the computer models tonight. So I just want to give people a heads up that live in the Massachusetts area, eastern Mass, southern New England, just be on guard for the possibility that conditions may go downhill anytime after between 11 a.m. and about 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Wow. Be safe, everyone out there. Okay. Now, you also do a podcast each morning. Can you tell us a little about that?
Yeah, I do a podcast for Good Morning Gloucester. It's a website, local community website, Cape Ann, done by my friend, Joey Shimataro. Joey Shimataro started this website several years ago. We've actually won the WBZ, I believe it was best blog around. So that was, kudos to Joey and the website, the team. And I was asked to come on the website, which I did. And I do my podcast. I also do some videos for Good Morning Gloucester. I put them up on YouTube. And I put them in my blog post on Good Morning Gloucester with the forecast. Marine is big up here in Cape Ann, the marine community, so we want to make sure that all our fishermen that go out to sea know the conditions before they the ports head out to sea as far as winds, waves, heights, and all that goes.
Now, you also are some chasers, so tell us a little about that.
Yeah, I've done some paranormal investigating with Mark Arvilla and his team, Vast Ghost Hunters Paranormal Society. Great group of guys. Got Mark Arvilla, Mike Gallant, Lauren Sheridan, Mary Lou, and there's a few more that I forget names. But I've been on several investigations with Mark and Mike Gallant and Lauren Sheridan. That's Mark Arvilla's fiance. She's now a member of Mass Ghost Hunters Paranormal Society as well. And we've gone to the Houghton Mansion out in western Massachusetts in North Adams. I've been there 4 times, and each time I've been out there, I've had an experience. And I've also been to the Victorian Mansion out in Gardner, Massachusetts. That's probably one of the times I had my most creepiest encounters with a spirit up on the stairs, the second stairway. We were doing an investigation. And I just turned around the corner. It was about 1:30 in the morning, and I see this big, tall, white, dark shadow with these big, black, beady eyes looking at me. And I just, of course, it was like a thing out of Scooby-Doo, So I was Shaggy. And I just jumped up, and I thought, MJ from Can-Am Paranormal and Dom, the Ghost Hunter, also from Can-Am Paranormal, was with us that night, and they missed me. They didn't catch me, and I knocked over a bunch of candles in a 6-foot or 5-foot tall candle stand. So that was pretty wild, and I just wanted to get out of the house for a while after that. As far as it was pretty funny. In the Houghton Mansion, I was knocked down. Actually, they have out in the Masonic Lodge. There's like a little altar out in the middle. If you ever been out to the Houghton Mansion, you go out in the Masonic Lodge area. It's completely black, completely dark. Even during the day, there's not much light in there. And I was just looking. We were doing a flashlight test, and the flashlight was going on and off from questions being answered by myself and Mark Arvilla, Mike Gallant, and everybody that was there with us. And there was 4 of us that were there for the whole night. And I touched the flashlight, and I felt the energy from the flashlight come up through my hand. And then I felt my right leg go up, and then I just went crashing down to the ground. And we had it on video. We caught that. So it's pretty cool.
Now, what is your favorite? What was your favorite place to investigate?
My favorite place to investigate, I would say it's the Houghton Mansion. It's just too bad it's 2.5 hours from where I live. But we had the whole place to ourselves. The place is huge. There's so much history behind that. Where all the people were killed in the tunnel. I believe it was over 300 or so. You'd have to ask Mark on that to quote me. Don't quote me on that, but and just all the stuff that's going on with the suicide, the whole end. It's just so much to take in, and it's just so unbelievably big. Even the basement's huge, where the little girl shows up down there. So we had some, strange encounters down there. So I would say the Houghton Mansion, definitely the Houghton Mansion. However, excuse me, I've done some freelancing myself with my daughter just during the day at Ham's Castle, and just this past week I was with Dawn, the ghost hunter from Can-Am Paranormal, and we were going through the Hammond Castle, just doing our own thing. Anybody can go. You pay $10, you go through the castle as long as you want. So we were doing a little ghost box private chat, reading EVPs and taking pictures, and we've had a few experiences in that. So there's a lot of rooms in that place that give me an upset stomach as well. But I would say Hammond Castle definitely for just going for sheer kicks and giggles, and if you're by yourself, just enjoying yourself, having a good time. So that was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. If you ever get a chance, I think you've been to the Hammond Castle, right, Tammy?
No, I thought it was the other one, but never mind.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, you definitely have to get out there and feel the energy when you walk in. You totally know it's haunted when you walk. You can feel the energy, the thickness of the air. And in some rooms, you do get a queasy stomach. You might feel a little lightheaded. But yeah, it's quite the experience just to get there and just check it out. For $10, you can't go wrong. You can spend 3-4 hours in it if you want. There's no time limit. You don't have to do the tour. You can just go on your own. So it's pretty cool.
Now, you also are going to Lizzie Borden at the end of the month.
Yeah, I am so psyched for the Lizzie Borden. That's on August 29th. We're all going to be down there around 6 o'clock. I got the email. Creepy, but I'm up for the challenge. And Mass Ghost Hunters Paranormal Society is a great group. I think they're one of the best groups that we have around here in New England. We have plenty of respect for everybody out there. And, they're all about helping people, getting behind the answers of, what's causing the problems in the house. And, letting them, feel good that everything's going to be okay. And they're not, a group that will go out there just to say stuff. These guys, Mass Ghost Hunters Paranormal Society, Mark Avila, Lawrence Sheridan, Mike Gallant, and I can go on and on. I can't say so much about these guys. They're the best. And I'm just so happy that I was a part, and they brought me in on their team to do some investigations. It was just great working with them. A true group of people that you would want in your house to give you the definite answers that they can give you from their evidence. So, yeah, they're the most trustworthy group I know.
I want to apologize for my dog barking. I apologize, my listeners.
That's okay.
I have little dogs, and their bark is sometimes overbearing, so I apologize. Now, what is your favorite piece of equipment?
Okay, well, my favorite piece of equipment would be my my extra hand wind thermometer. It's my digital wind measurement that I take with nor'easters on the back shore or at my house or anywhere during a hurricane or a nor'easter. It's digital, and it gives me up to the date, realistic, credible wind speeds. There's no show, and it measures temperature. Thank you, Chris, for that light. I actually went blind for 3 days. Well, not blind, but I saw dots, and I looked at the damn thing. See little.
And if you don't know Chris Ross, he designs lights. So, and he does an incredible job. Oh.
SPR, I believe it is, correct? Or
yeah.
SPI? Yeah. Yeah, he does an incredible work. Not too expensive, and I'll tell you, what he did for me was unbelievable. I got it in like 3-4 days since I sent the payment to him. I would suggest to your listeners out there, if you get a LED light with 30 LEDs in it, you don't want to look at it. hold it away, because I'm telling you, this will blind you for sure. So that's as far as ghost equipment goes. It would be that light. If I ever get a chance to use an investigation, which I might bring to Lizzie Borden. And I may be doing some live streaming from Lizzie Borden as well. So for my Wicked Weather show, we'll see how that works out.
That's awesome. Now, when you go on a paranormal investigation, do you take the weather into account during investigation?
I do. I think weather plays a big role in investigations. I mean, you could be in a haunted house with a thunderstorm, and that can bring up more energy inside the house. It can definitely shake things up on you. But, your mind plays a game on you. So, it's mind over matter. It's just like in a thunderstorm, you hear that loud thunder, you're in a dark house, you're doing an investigation. It definitely can, I think, bring out the spirits, bring out the energy more. As far as lightning, as far as wind goes, I don't know if that plays a role on it or not, or cold temperatures, because when we're doing an investigation, and you know this too, Tammy, when you're in investigations, if you're in a warm house and you feel a real cold spot, then you know that something's, paranormal's going on, because you're not just going to have a real cold spot come right through you.
Right, or even a warm spot.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
And now, also, I have a temperature gauge when I bring to investigations, and I also I have equipment that tests the humidity in the air and things like that. So.
Yeah. Yeah, those are always pretty good.
Yeah. So now, do you think lightning creates more energy for paranormal activity to happen if there's a thunderstorm?
Do I think lightning causes more paranormal energy as far as the thunderstorm goes?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I just answered that, but absolutely. I mean, you get the molecules, the nuclei, and you get the mixing, you get the CGs, which we call cloud to ground lightning strikes. That's got it's almost hotter than the sun. It's like 3,050 times hotter than the sun. Surface a lightning bolt. So with all that energy around and being in a haunted house, or 100%, I think it would bring out more paranormal. That's why I'm hoping for a big thunderstorm or even a hurricane while we're down at Lizzie Borden. Because I know this event's going on, rain or shine.
And even like a full moon may have some impact on what paranormal activity you have. I did investigate a house with that the full moon. It was a super moon a couple of years ago, and we had incredible activity in the house. We heard footsteps. We heard a person walking down the stairs. We heard someone get out of the bed. It was incredible.
This is during the full moon, full supermoon?
Yes.
Full moon? Because I got to tell you, as being a weatherman, supermoon only comes every so seldom. We're not going to see our next supermoon, I don't believe, until late 2015 or 2018. I have to go back and look at that. So they're very rare to have 4 supermoons in a short amount of time, and they call it the blood moon. Matter of fact, last night, if anybody was out there, you could actually see the supermoon that I didn't think was going to be out there, and I told my friends and listeners that the supermoon wasn't going to be there, and it was. It was actually, I thought it was brighter last night and bigger and orange. What the moon does, and I'm not big on astrology, but what the moon does, I think, is, it does something with the tides. I know that. As far as paranormal goes, yeah, maybe it brings out the werewolves tonight. I hear my damn coyotes outside my window every night at 9:30 p.m. But as far as bringing out the paranormal, I don't know if the moon has anything to do with it, to be honest with you. Could be. I don't know.
Okay. Now, tell us, you do some storm chasing. So tell us about your storm chasing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a great vehicle for storm chasing. My Christine has 136,000 miles on her, but still, she drives great. Matter of fact, I just got back from my friend's place today. temporarily fix my muffler until I get the permanent fix in a week or two. So thank you. If I can, shout out to my friend Sean Nolan at Extreme Truck and Auto for fixing my vehicle, the best damn mechanics in town. Now back to the storm chasers. Yeah, I mean, what I do is I get my plan together the night before. I plot out my map where I'm going to go. I usually have a co-pilot with me. I have my MacBook, so we have radar. I have my warning system, so we're all hooked up. I have a hotspot in my system so that we don't lose service on the internet while we're out chasing. And I have my live stream up, and I have a camera from my phone on the car when we're traveling. What I'll usually do is take Route 2. We'll do Western Massachusetts, Western New England. We'll take the northern border between Vermont and New Hampshire. So we'll drive 2 hours. We'll get to our destination. We'll sit. We'll camp out. We'll eat. And we'll wait. We'll watch the sky. We'll check the humidity. We'll check the clouds. We'll check the temperature. We'll watch the radar. And we'll just wait to see when the watch comes out of warnings. And then once the watch is issued, we'll know we're in the right area. If we're outside the watch box, not necessarily doesn't mean that we're not going to get something in the watch box. But we might move our location to a different location that's closer to what we would call ground zero. If a warning's issued, Tammy, we'll get right on that storm and we'll track it until it dissipates or goes out to sea, depending on how far it travels. So it's really hard to chase in New England due to the topography. We got the hills, the high terrain, the trees. You can't see much as if you're down in let's say, the Midwest, where you can just travel for hours and hours and hours, all flat land. But we'll hop on that storm, and we'll track it, and if we see anything out of the ordinary, we'll call into the National Weather Service, and we'll give them a Skywarn report so they can issue a warning for that county or town and let people know ahead of time. So that's what's good about storm chasers is that we're out there to help the public. Without storm chasers, I don't think you have prior warnings. So all the storm chasers out there, I know a lot of them get right into the core. I don't core punch. That's the worst thing you can do. You core punch a storm, you get stuck in the hail shaft, the heavy rain. You can't see. Then you get the wind, and then you're in no man's land. We call it because the tornado could come in any direction if there is a tornado or a warning. So it's really great. So that's what we do, and we'll follow it and we'll watch it, just like any normal storm chaser would do.
Yeah. That is awesome. Now, you live on the East Coast. You live near a beach. Have you ever gone through a tornado or a hurricane?
I've gone through a couple hurricanes, Tammy. I've gone through Hurricane Gloria that was in 1985. That would put me at about 13 years old. I'm not sure. But I was out in it, and I let the wind lift me up to my feet. We were up on the golf course, and I remember my parents calling us to come into the house because the trees started snapping, the wires were snapping. It was just unbelievably awesome, and I did not want to go in. I wanted to stay out there for the entire storm. I was friggin' loving it. The thing went on for about 3 hours. Then we had Hurricane Bob. Bob was in 1990. Bob was a good blow to us up here in Cape Ann. I think we gusted over 80. That was another exciting storm. So, yeah, I have gone in. As far as tornadoes go, as I was talking to my guest on my show last week, on Saturday, if you missed it, I saw a tornado go 200 to 300 yards in front of me crossing I-75 or I-95 down in North South Carolina when I was on my way down to Florida, and that was like 15 years ago. Nor'easters can be just as bad as hurricanes. We up here in New England, especially here on the East Coast, are prime for those barrel clinic zones that's set up. You get a low-pressure system off the coastline. It starts to spin up. The millibars start to drop, the pressure drops, and then you watch a coastal front, we call it, set up along the coast, and that's where you get your rain-snow line. But if you get a north wind on one side of the front, and you got an east wind on this other, or east or southeast, or even northeast wind on the other side of the front, on the coastal side, you get that baroclinic zone, and that's when you can get some crazy wind gusts with these storm systems as they bomb out. And we witnessed that up here in 2012, where we gusted to 110 miles per hour. and we were sustained at 75 to 80 for 3 hours, Tammy. And the whole city of Gloucester was without power for about 3-4 days. We had trees down everywhere, wires down everywhere, roofs were blown off, homes, hotels. It was probably the worst storm I've ever witnessed and enjoyed, because all you hear is a thump, 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 and it's complete blackness. You see power flashes. It was unfriggin' real. It was great.
Wow.
Yeah, so I live for this stuff. And you will see me down the back shore. You will see me on the beach doing live streams if and when we get a hurricane. And I do think we're going to get one this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is the difference between a northeaster and a blizzard? What's the difference?
The difference between a nor'easter and a blizzard. Well, I guess it's visibility. You can have a nor'easter and a blizzard at the same intensity scale. But a blizzard is classified as 35-mile-an-hour wind sustained or frequent gusts over 35 miles an hour. I believe it's a half mile or less in visibility. And it has to be 3 hours straight, continuously, 3 hours straight of, all that. Three-quarter mile visibility, I believe it is. 35-mile-an-hour winds are stronger, and that's it. It has to be to equal a blizzard. A nor'easter comes from the Carolinas, forms in the Gulf Stream, blows up, and can come up the coastline, can stall. So, like, a nor'easter and blizzard are really big storms. There's not really a big difference between them. Besides, a blizzard it has to be a whiteout for exactly 3 hours to acquire blizzard conditions or be required as classified as a true blizzard. Nor'easter, you don't need that. Yeah. Now, you are up in upstate New York, so you don't really get that many nor'easters, but if you do, you get cliff land, because usually it's New England that gets hit by the nor'easters. You get the lake effect up there in New York.
We and you
can get a
stuff.
blizzard too. Yeah, you can get a blizzard too.
We have blizzards. We have a lot of lake effects too. We have a lot of lake effects. Like every day, we have lake effects.
You're gonna have lake effects starting in late September, so get ready.
Oh, thank you.
And I will tell you this. I will tell you this is because the ice caps are forming, and they really haven't melted that much up in the Arctic. So you got all that cold air up there, building and just ready to be unleashed. And I think in the next couple of weeks, after we go through some extreme heat in New England and the Northeast, including New York State, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and all of New England, we're going to have a late-season heat wave, it looks like, in late August, right in time for the Lizzie Borden event. After that, I think we switch right into winter for upstate New York instead of fall, so keep an eye on that.
Great. I'm still moving south.
Sure.
All right. Now, we only have 4 minutes left. Tell us where people can find you.
They can find me on Twitter They can find me at Twitter at Peter Lavasco, Northeast Mass Stormwatch. I'm on Facebook at Wicked Weather, so you can find me on Wicked Weather. What else? You can find my forecast on goodmorninggloucester.com. That's goodmorninggloucester.com. Really, my YouTube is, what is my YouTube one? Weather Geek 71. So if you want to see any of my weather, and that's also as Cape Ann Stormwatch on Ustream. That's where you can find me. And my show, 8 p.m. Saturday nights, run by my producer, Tammy Rosenfeld. Tammy. Joe, so it's looking good. And then I think I'm going to have Paranormal Hangover on after around 8:30 or so as well. So it's going to be a good show.
That is great.
Yeah.
And, tune in Saturday night.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And don't forget to tune in to the Sisterhood because of Paranormal, because Tammy Rosenfeld rocks and her show rocks, so you guys have to check out her shows.
Oh, thanks.